Well, can I thank the member for Latrobe for his question and his tireless advocacy for the people of the Dandenongs, for Berwick, for Beaconsfield, for Narre Warren and other suburbs which he looks after. The key priority of the Turnbull government, Mr Speaker, is to ensure that all Australians have the best opportunity of getting a job. And the first step towards that is to grow the economy so that there are as many jobs possible for Australians to acquire. And of course, we've got a great track record on that front, as we've heard just today. And the second step is to ensure that Australians have the opportunity of taking those jobs and only taking in overseas workers when absolutely necessary. And consequently, we've reformed the 457 visa program to achieve that end. And the result of all of that work, Mr Speaker, is actually quite impressive. We've heard today of the record jobs growth, 400,000 jobs last year, 16 consecutive months of jobs growth. But alongside that, we know that Australians have been stepping up and taking those jobs, and we know that because under this government, the welfare queues are now at their lowest levels as a proportion of working-age population in 25 years. So Australians are stepping up and taking the jobs that are available. And the third part of that is we've had fewer people from overseas needing to come into the country on 457s to fill those job shortages. And I'm asked about the alternatives, Mr Speaker, in relation to job creation, Australians stepping up and taking those jobs. And we know that the alternative is stark because under the former Labor government, indeed under the then leadership of when he was Workplace Relations Minister, the leadership of the opposition, he was actually the gold medalist in issuing 457 visas to people from overseas to come and take this job. Now, it'd be one thing to be the gold medalist in issuing 457 visas if the labour market was very, very tight, there was almost nobody on the welfare queues. But when you actually look at the data, the welfare queues grew by an incredible 250,000 people under his watch. That's the equivalent of people lining up from here to Goulburn. That's the additional number of people added to the welfare queue. And at the same time that that welfare queue was going from here to Goulburn, he's bringing in 130,000 people on 457s. Now, that does not make sense, as the Attorney-General just points out. And the question is, why does the Leader of the Opposition hate Australian workers so much? We know when he was a union leader he cut their salaries. He cut their salaries when he was a union leader, and when he was Workplace Relations Minister, he brought in overseas workers to take Australian jobs.
The minister's time has